So if nobody believes in you right now, then so what? Take that and use it as motivation. Do not take it personal. And this is one thing that a lot of people do, and ultimately it just sets them back, is because they get so tied up emotionally that they take that form of, their friends or their family not believing in them. They take that personal. But what this ends up doing is it ends up driving them crazy because they're not necessarily pursuing their dream with that clear state of mind. Now they're doing it out of spite, or now they're doing it to show and to prove people that they're actually capable of doing something, which in a sense it's okay. But you don't want to do something for somebody else. You don't want to make the next person the reason behind why you're going out and being great in life. You want to do it for you. You want to do it for the people that you love. You want to do it because you actually have a true passion and deep desire to do those things. Do not do it out of spite. Do not do it because you're trying to prove something to the next person. Because in all reality, this person's just as human as we are. They all have a day just like we have a day. So trying to sit and waste time to prove something to the next person who's just as human as you, who has just as much flaws as you, is crazy. Do not fall into that trap. Do not fall into that trap of constantly trying to battle with the next person and prove somebody wrong. Because I promise you, what's going to happen is, yeah, you may take the time and you may overcome this person's image that they may have put on you, but then you're going to meet somebody else, and this person may not necessarily see the vision. This person may not necessarily believe in you, and you're going to be put in that same position, and there's going to be a constant cycle of you trying to really just prove people wrong, when more importantly you should just be proving yourself wrong. When I was younger, nobody believed in my vision to go out and make something happen for myself. So that's where you have to come in and be the main character of your life. Take all the attention and the power away from outside sources and put it directly on yourself. Because I've been around so many variations of people, so many different types of people, right? And one of the key takeaways based on reaching certain high points in life is that once somebody realized that certain people did or did not believe in them, it completely changed the way that they thought about certain things that they initially believed that they can do. A lot of people lack that confidence once they realize that their friends or their family did not believe in them. So more importantly, you need to believe in yourself. Once you do the work that you need to do, your actions and everything else will speak for itself. You will not necessarily seek that support or that form of validation because you've worked so hard to get to where you're at that it does not matter who's supporting you. It doesn't matter if you have one person or 500 people. You're still going to do the things that you said that you're going to do because you put in the work and you know your results are going to be worthwhile. So if you're in a position right now where you may lack support, or your friends and your family may not necessarily believe in your vision, this is the time where you have to start believing in your own vision. This is the time where you have to trust your gut, trust everything that you've been working towards thus far, and put everything into full effect. Because if you don't take that chance and bet on yourself and actually believe that it's possible, then nobody will. You have to see the vision before anyone else, because I promise you, once you do get to that point where you overcame certain challenges, when you do see a little bit of success, this is when everybody's gonna start supporting you. But quick little story time, man. I remember when I first started my brand, and initially, when you first start something, you probably have 5-10 people follow you. You barely trying to get it out there. The support is pretty much 0 to none, right? So I had first started my brand, and I realized that the people that was closest to me, the people that I thought would support me, didn't really pay it any attention until outsiders started to support me. Once they seen that it was popular or it was common to support me, this is exactly when they started to fall in line. People like to follow trends. People like to do and be where everyone else is or where it's common to be at. So if it's common for you to get that support, this is when everyone else will start to fall in line. That's why I personally believe that we have to really learn this sense of patience in terms of trying to reach our goals in life, because there's always going to be a point in time where you lack something. There's always going to be a point in time where you may not have the confidence that you need in order to keep going. But you have to make the problem, or you have to make the mission way bigger than yourself. Because where I'm at today to the next person may not mean anything. It may not have no significance. It may not even be any form of greatness at all. But I know based on where I came from, based on how I was raised, based on my odds, that I completely blew everything out of the water. I completely beat all of the odds and the standards and the expectations that were set upon me. So in my eyes, I did accomplish some form of greatness. Does this mean that you should stop pushing forward and stop growing? No, not at all. But this means that you should give yourself some credit and do not compare yourself to the next person and what they believe is significant and what isn't significant. And in reality, the people that have so much to say on where you're going in your life and what you're doing with your situation are probably people that are nowhere near where you're at mentally. Just think about anybody that you've ran into in life that had anything negative to say about the next person. I guarantee usually these people are unhappy. These people are usually not where they should be. And really, to me, it's just a form of self-projection. This is why when certain people see your potential, when they realize you're great, they do everything in their power to try to minimize this, to try to kill that spark in you, to try to make you feel like less of a person so that you don't go out and be greater than them. This is why I don't spend my time listening to anybody. Now, it's okay to take in opinions and to hear people out from time to time, but you have to live for you and you have to make decisions according to your logic and what you've learned. But listening to the next person, allowing the next person to control your life and be the driving force behind why you make certain decisions will always put you back in that position where you feel left out, where you feel like you're missing something, where you feel like everything that you've accomplished is not worthwhile because this person is steady in your ear telling you that you're just not doing enough. Give yourself credit for what you're doing. If nobody believes in you, then so be it. Take all that form of negativity, take all that form of selfishness, and really just use it as motivation to be great. But never let the next person hold you back, especially if they are not further than you. Especially if they're not somebody that you can look at and truly say that they've done more or they're way further than you are in life. Because if you're equals or they're lower than you, then really, why should their opinion matter when you're trying to exceed and be way greater than anything you've ever been in your life? This person's in the position that they're in, so really, they don't have too much to say about where you're going. You wouldn't go to a mechanic and ask some questions on neuroscience. It just wouldn't make no sense at all. This is why all these outside voices truly does not matter unless somebody has a resume that's directly based on where you're going. If somebody's been through what you've been through, this is why I feel like it's very important to listen to older people, because they're a lot wiser, because they've been through a lot of the things that we've been through, because they've had certain experiences that we can learn from so that we don't have to go out and experience them firsthand. If you can learn from somebody that's much wiser than you, then do that. And really just use that information that you gain to put yourself 10 steps ahead, because now you're avoiding making certain mistakes that they may have made when they were younger. But you don't need nobody to believe in you to be great, because nobody believed in me. Where you see me at today, the way that I'm speaking, nobody believed that I would even be here. I'll never forget one time, it was roughly 3.5 years ago, I had called my uncle from Ohio. For a lot of y'all who don't know, I was born in Ohio, but I had called my uncle from Ohio, and I haven't spoke to him since I was probably in the first grade, so maybe like 19 years ago, right? So as soon as I got on the phone with him and I told him what I was doing with my life, the decisions that I was making, he almost literally went into tears, simply because he told me, I did not believe that you would even be half the person you are today. I didn't believe that you would even be capable of doing the things that you were doing based on the signs and the way that you were acting when you were younger. And what this did is it showed me that you don't necessarily need no one to believe in you, because you can beat the odds if you want to beat the odds. If you want to be great, it's 100% up to you to be great. And don't compare your form of greatness to the next person's, because they have not walked in the same shoes you have. So it will never amount and it will never be equal. But if you overcome certain challenges in your life, then give yourself credit, because you deserve that credit. I'll always give myself credit for the things that I've overcame, because I know that I shouldn't even be here today speaking to y'all based on, the lifestyle that I was living and the way that I was raised when I was younger. But that support that you're out here seeking, that feeling of validation that you feel like you may need to go out and be great, You have to get all of these things from yourself. You have to develop this sense of courage and confidence in your ability to go out and make the right decisions for your life. But you can't depend and rely on the next person to do so. Now's the time to be an adult. Now's the time to hold yourself accountable and really make decisions based off certain experiences that you had in your life. Because if you learn, like majority of us do, if you learn based off the bad decisions, then you can only go up from there. If you go outside right now and you make a left turn and you see that there's a hole in the floor, I guarantee tomorrow you're not going to do that same thing because you know the consequences of those bad decisions, right? And this same thing applies to life. Use your past experiences as the wisdom that you need in order to make something happen for your life. Do not go and move through life blindsided and really move as if you do not have a clue into what direction to go in, because you do. Because if you're watching this video right now, you have a past just like all of us. And this past you can learn from and you could dissect and really break down so that you could make corrections and become the greatest version of yourself. Just like I'm working on, just like we all are probably working on. But if you lack that support, once again, do not act as if it's something mandatory. You don't necessarily need somebody supporting you. Once you do get to that point of success, I guarantee all the support that you've ever wanted is going to be there. Really just hold on and keep going and understand that you need you more than anyone else at this very moment. But if you made it to the end of the video, I just want to say thank you so much. It's your boy Blue Jay Tay. Drop a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.